welcome back. I want to talk to you about trend and integrating a trend system like an IQ3, which is shown here in this panel, or an IQ4NC, but let's just do the IQ3, into the Tridium MAC36 controller in this case, but it can be a JACE8000 or a Distech controller, a central line controller. It's irrelevant. It's still N4 Niagara, and we're going to take all the, well, I have taken all these points into a MAC36NL controller, and I want to talk to you about that and how to set that up. So we have an IQ TCP network that we install, and this is the IQ3 controller, LAN 11, outstation 11. That's the controller's internal IP address, and that is the port 10050 that we're going to connect to, and this is a firmware version, and of course the health. And as you can see, we are connected already to the controller. So the property sheet, the maximum write time is set to 5 minutes. That means that if a point has not changed, then after 5 minutes we will still look at that point and take back the value. So we'll always constantly, every 5 minutes, even if a point hasn't changed, we're going to bring it back into the MAC36NL controller. We set the pole frequency to normal, and every 1 minute I'm using the normal rate, so every 1 minute I will poll the system. The average poll is 21 seconds at the moment, and the normal poll is 56 seconds. This just changed to 57 seconds. So it takes roughly 57 seconds to poll all the points. You'll see the reason for that in a bit, because I've got quite a few points. The response timeout, 5 seconds. Discover timeout, 20 seconds. I haven't enabled the time sync, and the busy time is 42%. When you're talking busy time, be it Trend Network or Modbus, or BACnet, you don't want that to be, well, my rule of thumb is not to take it over 75%. Always have it 75% or less. You don't want to be seeing 99% there. Anything below 75% you should be happy with, and that could be the Modbus network, the BAC network, or Trend network. So I'm happy with that at 41%. If I increase that at this minute, if I put that to 0 and put that to say 5 seconds, this would shoot up, and this would probably be around about 98-99%. You don't want that. You're just asking for trouble. So anything below 75% busy time, you're okay with. Hence, those are the settings that I wanted this controller to be, because of the amount of points that I'm bringing in on the IQ3, which I will show you these points now. I did my own alarm system as well, so my own alarm class, not that one, because that says not important. That's just the network alarm class. If I look for views, AX property sheet, Trend alarm class. So there's my so any alarms from the Trend, I put it to its own alarm system, its own alarm class. So if I look at my alarm service, you will see the Trend there. Alarm class. Now let's look at all these points. We have 268 objects that I'm bringing in from that IQ3 controller. So these are just normal inputs coming into the controller. Now these inputs are from the modules attached to the Trend, and also not just the Trend modules themselves. We can also use, well, I'll show you, one moment. We can also use these modules here. What these are, well, these are outputs, but on the other panel, on the other side, on this side here, which is the power side, you can see these modules here. And what these are 4 inputs in this. Well, there's 6 there. Yeah, there's 6 inputs, but you can get 6 input modules, 4 input modules, and I think you can even get 2 input modules. So these input modules have an analog output up at the top here. So depending on the position or what's enabled, for example, this module's got 2 of them enabled there, this module's got 1 of them enabled there, this module's got 2 of them, you can see the 2 red lights on. That will send a numeric output back to the Trend. So one output, or sorry, one input will give you, into the Trend, will actually give you 6 inputs, digital inputs. So when we look back at the Excite IQ3, we have 8 universal inputs there, 8 universal, 8 universal, 8 analog, 8 analog, 8 digital, and 8 digital. And then of course we've got the inputs on top of the IQ3, and then we've got these outputs on the bottom of the IQ3, and that's Ethernet connected back to this switch up here. Now the reason this is being used is for BACnet. So this 2 connections down here, these 2 connections here is MSTP BACnet out to all the devices in the building. They are fan coils and manifolds, and then this Ethernet connection here is connected back to the switch, and we pick up via the IQ3 via BACnet through this device, this IQ4NC. We pick up all the fan codes and manifolds, underfloor manifolds, and this device up here, this SIP, this is Modbus. We've got 2 geothermal heat pumps and the Modbus connection, and we pick up the 2 geothermal inputs, geothermal heat pumps. We pick them up via Modbus network, and again bring him into the IQ3 Excite controller. So this has no I/O on it in any way. Sorry, it doesn't have any logic built into it in any way whatsoever. All the logic is on this IQ3 Excite. So these are all the inputs, be it inputs from the be it inputs from the IQ4, or be it inputs from the Synapsys. These are all the inputs coming in, and we'll show you one of these. So we've just got I9 there, an S, true, default policy, and that's the ground source circuit pump A fault, as you can see there. And another one, I42 boiler enable, I30, so just normal digital inputs. Let's scroll down. These are now the sensors. Ground source heat pump 1, flow sensor, boiler boiler flow and return sensors. So all temperature sensors. These are these DIM 6s. These are the ones that these are the 6-channel digital inputs to analog output. DIM 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's some more further down. Let me show you a module for that. Let me bring that across to the other screen. So this is a typical 6-channel digital input. So we've got 6 inputs and we have just one numeric output, and there is a table. Let me show you the table. This is a typical table. So all inputs are off. We're going to get 0.08, and then if input 1 goes on, we get 0.23, and so on. And let's just look into one of these. S26, and then see in the brackets there we've got a V in the digital inputs one. If you checked it, we had an S, but now we've got a V in that particular input. There we've got a V again there. Look at some more. Now these are adjustments, also called in the trend world knobs. K1, K2, K3, so you can actually adjust, or the user can adjust the set points. So for example, that's K4. Again, you've got a V in brackets, boiler return set point. K29, again V in brackets. Let's have a look at some more points. These are switches, W's. Got the S in brackets, W8S. So as you can see, we've got these as a Boolean writable. So we can write to them via our MAC36NL, as well as the knobs we can write to them via our MAC36NL. Now these are outputs of the trend, so it's what the trend is outputting to the plant. We'll have a look at one of these for you. So D17, again you got the V, and we look at this one here, which is a Boolean writable, D18. And got the V there. D27V, and it's enabled at the moment, but I could right click that and I could disable it if I wanted to, or I can right click these and set another value if I wanted to. So that was a bit about the trend. Let's have a quick look at the BACnet network. So these are the manifolds and fan coils. So I can look into one of these fan coil points, and there's your data. So that's your room temperature there. Fans is disabled at the moment. Cooling valve 100%. That's your set point 19.98. These are your fan coil speeds. Now that telly head is an underfloor head, so it's an underfloor heating head. It's actually fed by the geothermal heat pumps, because those heat pumps are set to around about 40 degrees, so it's great for underfloor heating. Look at a manifold. Temperature again. This is an electric underfloor heating. This is a water underfloor, so it's a valve underfloor heating. And the set point. But that was, we wanted to look at the trend, so that was giving you a bit of an idea of how you can actually link your Trend IQ3 back to your Niagara station. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.